Procter & Gamble in ASEAN, and I have the pleasure to be your MC for today. So, as you know, around the globe, we're celebrating International Women's Day. At Procter & Gamble, we actually celebrate this week as Diversity and Inclusion Week. And we're very pleased to partner together with SMU, who also embrace diversity and inclusion. And we're very happy that they have invited us to host our event here on their premises today. So, I'm going to share with you a little bit about the agenda for today. First important thing I need to tell you is that we're being televised. So you're on TV, you'll see a few cameras around the room. It's not live, but it will be, some excerpts will be shown later on in the week on Channel News Asia. So I need everyone on best behaviour. So here's how the agenda is going to work today. We're going to kick off with two short welcome speeches, actually from two gentlemen who both happen to come from Belgium. I'll explain a little bit more about that, maybe. And then following on from the welcome speeches, we're going to have our panel of distinguished ladies, who I will introduce to you shortly. And they're going to talk on the topic of the business case for diversity and inclusion. Now, you will also have a chance to ask questions. So we've got a kind of a fun, interactive way to ask questions with a little bit of help from technology, and I'll talk you through that in a few minutes. But to kick off the proceedings, may I introduce onto the stage, to share a few opening words, the President of Singapore Management University, Professor Arnaud de Meyer.
Good morning to everybody, and particularly to the ladies in this room. This is, I would say, your week, but it's a bit our week because we're all in this together, right? Also, Mr. Erik Jonard and colleagues from Procter & Gamble, distinguished panelists and guests, and also colleagues, students and friends of SMU. I am very flattered to be able to welcome you here to this event, to this panel discussion, and I'm sure it's going to be a lively and thought-provoking discussion. Now, when I was thinking about what to say here this morning as a welcome, the word discrimination came to my mind. That's a negative word to start with. Inclusion and diversity is a much more positive one. But it's something that, discrimination is something that most, if not all of us here today, find currently morally and socially unacceptable, and prejudice, whether it's based on age, ethnicity, race, nationality, disability, education, or religion, strikes us as inequitable and distasteful. Now, why do I start with such a negative word, discrimination? Because it's the basis of why diversity is often not allowed to flourish. Diversity is such a nice word, and I don't think that anybody in this room even has any problem with that word. Why don't we all apply it? Why don't we all adhere to it? Why don't we all use it all the time? Because there are some negative forces that actually not avoid or lead to the fact that this cannot flourish. Diversity, however, is today definitely becoming seen as a big idea in the business world also, and that's the good news. It's not only in other areas, but also in the business world. And it's also seen as a rich source and a strong driver of valuable innovation. Diversity in work experiences, lifestyles and cultures in the business environment brings multifaceted perspectives which often challenge mainstream preconceptions and assumptions. And diversity in the workforce produces a diversity of business solutions and ideas. It doesn't come automatically. There is actually quite a lot of academic research that diversity is not about only having numbers of diverse people, bringing in different nationalities, different cultures, different races, different gender. That it's something you have to work on every day to get actually the positive effect of it. We may stay too polite with each other, is sometimes the negative side of diversity. We respect each other, but we don't challenge each other. Diversity leads to its best results, as I said, a diversity of business solutions and ideas, when we keep on challenging each other. And I'm happy to say that SMU champions diversity, and that's the reason why we're delighted to be able to work together with Procter & Gamble here today on organizing this panel. We have faculty members drawn from more than 25 countries, selectively recruited wholly on merit for their ability to advance knowledge in teaching and research. But together, they form a cadre of experienced and committed pool of talent. And I'm happy to say also that this is mirrored in our student population, which is in a sense a microcosm of the world in terms of nationalities, ethnic groups, and cultures. It is really dynamic mix which fluctuates constantly through frequent and constant student exchanges, faculty visits, and multidisciplinary collaboration and research. But as I said, diversity in itself, in terms of numbers, is not enough. Interaction between these diverse individuals is necessary to produce that cross-fertilization that I was referring to, that cross-fertilization of perspectives and ideas. And it's that cross-fertilization that results in a synthesis that multiplies the creativity exponentially. In addition, we should foster a sense of inclusiveness, and that's the second part of the panel today, diversity and inclusion, which the inclusiveness which derives from a belief that one is valued, respected and supported by the community or the organization. For businesses, institutions and society, it's about focusing on the needs of every individual and ensuring that the right conditions are in place for each person to achieve his or her potential. This is fundamental to SNU's participative pedagogy and interactive learning environment. And we try to foster, through our seminar-style teaching in small class sizes, inclusion. Inclusion should be encouraged in any organization's culture and should be evident in the practices and the relationships that support a diverse community or workforce. We've this done since the beginning of SNU, but this is not the place to talk more about SNU. I'd rather leave the place here to the members of the panel to bring their experiences and their insights in terms of diversity and inclusion. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to be here, to Procter & Gamble, and I wish you all a great panel and debate.
Thank you, Professor De Meyer. I would now like to introduce our next speaker, the Vice President of External Relations from Procter & Gamble, Mr. Eric Yonnet.
Good morning, everybody. On behalf of P&G, and I know there are a lot of P&Gers in the room, I would first of all like to thank Professor De Meyer and SNU for the partnership and for allowing us to jointly organize this event. It's very important for business, for companies like ours, to continue partnering with the business schools. Also, and especially here in Singapore, where we have, as P&G, our headquarters for Asia. For us, International Women's Day is very important. It's going to be celebrated on Thursday, so we are a bit ahead of the game. But we wanted to celebrate International Women's Day together with you because it's really for us a way to celebrate diversity. Diversity, which in turn, for companies like us, is an engine for creativity and an engine for innovation. That's why we say at P&G, every day is Women's Day. Because we strongly believe that as a company, leading consumer goods company, we need to make sure that through our workforce, we mirror the society, we mirror the consumers whom we serve. Not only here in Singapore, but in Asia and across the globe. And that's why leaders like me in the company are held accountable to deliver this diversity in the organization through three ways. One is each of the leaders in P&G is held accountable to make sure we only attract the brightest students, both women and men. Second, we are held accountable to really embrace a culture of inclusiveness, of openness, of transparency, whereby each individual employee can make his, her unique contributions to the business. And last but not least, it's easily said sometimes, but it is something which is important within a company like ours. We want to make sure that we create an environment, a working environment with sufficient flexibility so that all our employees, both women and men, can better combine professional life with family life. So that's why we have systems like flexible hours, working from home, sabbaticals, which we introduced to help our employees. That's what I wanted to share by way of introduction. Again, thanks for your presence and your participation. Thanks to SMU for the partnership. And let me get back to Victoria, who will take you through the agenda and introduce you to the panelists.
Okay, thank you, Eric. Now, before I introduce the panel and the moderator, I want to explain to you how you can ask the questions using this technology. So it's called Pigeonhole Live. That's the name of the technology that we're going to be using. It's fairly simple, but there are a few steps that you need to go through in order to get it set up right. Okay, so bear with me, follow me closely. So first of all, does everyone have either a smartphone, an iPad, a laptop computer? If you have it, please get your phones or your laptops out now. Okay, I can see most people. I think nearly everybody has got one. Good to see we're a very interconnected group today, okay? So, now I need you to launch your internet browser. So go online, it should be on 3G. Launch your internet browser. And once you've done that, I need you to type in the following: phlive.at. So you can see on the screen behind me in blue, phlive.at.